Good evening, namaste, or adab. Today, in our Meet the Author session, we are going to have conversation with Colonel Daljit Singh Cheema. Colonel Cheema has served Indian Army with distinction for 31 years. He is an eminent educationist and a prolific writer who has contributed more than 500 articles related with education, defense, aging, and self-management in Hindustan Times, the Tribune, the Times of India, Indian Express newspapers, and the Tehalka Magazine. He is a renowned author with 17 books to his credit. So let's meet Colonel Cheema. Hello, good
Good
evening,
evening.
sir.
Thank you, Shweta, for such a wonderful introduction. Thank you
You
so
truly
much.
deserve it, sir. You completely
And
deserve this introduction and much
good,
more than this.
good evening to all the viewers. Adab, Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal to everyone who's watching us. Thank you.
It's really a pleasure, sir, and we really want to extend our thanks to you for giving us your precious time. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Sir, our audience wants to know a lot about you, your books, your writing journey. So, first of all, I'm just going to start with the question which relates to your writing journey because we all are very inquisitive to know about that. From the first book, How to Get More Done in Less Time, to the 17th one, Put Your Best Foot Forward. Please share that journey with us, sir.
All right. Actually, Shweta, writing and reading, they are the twins.
Yeah.
Now, I was extremely fond of reading. My father happened to be an educationist and he passed his graduation in 1920 from FC College, Lahore in Pakistan. My
Okay.
older brother, 6 years older than me, incidentally, he was also the classmate of famous Shiv Batalvi, and I've had the
That's
opportunity of
great.
meeting Shiv Batalvi, God knows how many times because of him.
Wow.
Now he was pursuing his MA Masters in English. So there were a lot of books and a lot of literature lying here and there. And when I was in ninth, because we started I studied in a school where the English language teaching was started in sixth standard. So when I
Right.
was in ninth or tenth, that is the time when I started understanding a bit about the reading, and I started reading whatever came my way. That gave me interest in even writing. And when I was
Right.
in, I think, seventh or eighth class, I wrote a Punjabi poem for a magazine called Jagriti. In those days, we
Okay.
had this magazine, and I wrote one, and it was published. Now, after that, of course, I went to army. I went to IIT. I went to army, and there, in army, I was able to write for the magazines of the college. There was one college of combat where I had gone for doing number of courses, and I would write for College of Combat, the Combat magazine, and my own electronics and mechanical engineering unit, their magazines
Okay.
and things like that. Now, when I took premature retirement in '94, I was appointed principal of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Dayanand College of Communication and Management at Chandigarh.
Right.
There, I used to teach in MCME. I've been teaching in my, education institution. We have a very big establishment at Skandrabad, Military College of Electronics and Mechanical Engineering.
Right.
Shweta, I spent around 9 to 10 years there as an instructor, as a captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, till I took premature retirement.
Right.
Now,
Right.
that is the time when I got bit of confidence while teaching. And one of the subjects which I taught them, the senior army officers, was time management, as we loosely call it. You can't manage time. In fact, it is managing yourself with respect to time. So
Yes, absolutely.
I used to teach this subject there, and while as principal, I had a lot of time after retirement. So I said, why not get this published in the form of a book? So my first book, How to Get More Done in Less Time, came in 1999 when I was the
Okay.
principal of that college. And that is how that book. And then after that, I moved to DAV College, Chandigarh as Director Professional Studies. In that capacity, a number of publishers used to come to me and to give their books for recommending it for BBA, BCA, MSc Information Technology,
Right.
and various courses which I used to head. One of the publishers told me, he says, "Sir, you've been teaching operation research in army, and operation research is a very difficult kind of subject, considered in MBA and even in engineering. If you've been
Mhm.
teaching that, why don't you write a book on operations research?" So that is the time when I took about 4 years to write that book, Operation Research. It is around 850 pages book, and is
Okay.
doing very well down south. Here in north, of course, there are many other people who have very good books going in. But that is how my journey started, and I started writing books.
That's lovely, sir. That's such an inspiring journey, and that's such a very pertinent topic which you have chosen for your first book. How to manage, times and these operations and all this stuff. One is really inquisitive to know about all these things. What happens there at an institute and at an army institute? How these things are being taught to them. So that's really very insightful for everyone to know about.
Thank you. You
And so
see,
you have, Hanji,
Yeah, yeah. You know what I want to share with you is that in army you get typecast. If you
right.
are good in one thing, you are placed again and again in that position to continue doing that. So that is
Absolutely, sir.
how my first posting as an instructor was somehow, it was liked by people, senior people at army headquarters. And after that, I kept getting posted again and again as directing staff, as we call it, or an instructor class A, class B, class C, like that.
Yes. So, your books and they all talk about the youth also. And you have always believed in the fact that youth of today is not useless, but we use them less. So, how can we bring a change in ourselves and the society to explore the true potential of the youth?
You see, youth are the best hope for India. I have no doubt about it.
Absolutely, sir.
Just think about 88 crore Indians below the age of 35. So our average age is just 29 years, whereas
Ji.
Japanese, their average age is 48 years, Chinese, their average age is 39 years. So we are literally a young nation. Now,
Yes.
if we are able to skill and train this huge quantity of useful people, if we are able to do that, I think they can do wonders. We
Wonders.
all know
Absolutely.
that they are our youth, the we call it brain drain or whatever you want to call it. It is to the advantage of America and other developed countries. They are doing wonders, and people jokingly say every time that the world is being run by Indians. Now, the problem is, if the world is being run by Indians, why is India not being run by the
Indeed.
Indians, and why our governance system still remains poor? You see, it is a
Yes.
fact
Yes.
of life. We have to accept that our governance system is not as good as it one want it to be. You see,
Yes.
I am reminded of something which Pramod Mahajan, great BJP leader, he used to answer one question in a very sarcastic kind of manner. People asked him once that when will India get developed? We've been since the last 70 years or so many years, we've been listening to the people, leaders, political people saying is that India is developing country, India will develop soon, and this and that. When is India going to get developed? To my
Yes.
mind, India youth is the trustees of posterity for people like me. Now, I feel that if we are able to give the proper environment to the young boys and girls, proper learning environment, we have been stuck till now with teaching. Teaching
Yes.
and teaching is outdated. Learning, of course, now the new policy, the new education policy has brought about many changes, and I have a lot of faith in that policy. It can do a lot of good to the youth. Now, we need mentors. So, mentors, if you can give to the students in the classrooms, teacher is only a structured and a limited kind of support the teacher can give. And
Right.
our teaching system, unfortunately, is that you don't let the spirit of inquiry of the child to develop.
Yes,
What actually
absolutely. That
education should be,
inquisitiveness,
let
inquisitiveness is
let us
somewhere,
encourage that. let the child have that spirit of inquiry, and after that it is possible nowadays to learn from anywhere, whether it
Right,
is a
right.
teacher, parent, friend, Google, anywhere. But unfortunately, that system of developing the spirit of inquiry of the child, now I believe it has come up in primary education. It has been included, and it is going to be. The second point is that the kind of distractions which the youth of today have,
Yes,
they don't have to unlearn many things, but they have learned many wrong things. Now, people
yes,
like me, I had to unlearn many things to and to be able to learn something. But they have the advantage that they don't have to unlearn many things. They have to
yes.
only focus
Add
on,
on to the things.
add on and focus. Unfortunately, the youth of today is also very impatient. Patience is a great virtue. I always say that patience and humility, these are the mothers of all other good values. So
Yes,
unless you have some kind of patience, the youth do not have that kind of patience. They want everything by yesterday, quickly. So I mean, they don't realize that unless you put in hard work of years and years, you don't get what you really want. And the third thing which I feel very strongly is that the youth of today is not able to decide what he or she wants from life at an early age. They spend
yes,
or waste a lot of time in finding out what they want. By the
yes,
age of 28, 30, they are able to find out that what they really want to do. Whereas in other developed countries, they have their systems, of course, there are aptitude testing and various other kind of support which the government gives. They start finding out what their student is good at, and the student is given that liberty to do that. Here,
yes,
unfortunately, one does not do what one wants to do or what one loves. Actually, it
yes,
is a compulsion that you have to have a decent livelihood. So you do whatever comes your way. This is
yes.
problem. But the youth of today are very sharp, very bright, and they can do wonders if they are able to use their real true potential which they have.
Absolutely, sir. That's very true. And sir, you were just talking about having mentors. So I want to know how much importance a mentor holds in an individual life, in any individual's life.
Actually, I am always reminded of this and I quote it everywhere. Sir Isaac Newton, he used to say that if I have seen further, I have seen it by standing on the shoulders of greats. Now, you learn from others. If you don't have a good example to follow or emulate, you will not improve. This is my
Right,
view. So, if you have mentors, you see, fortunately, in cities, big cities like if we talk about Tri City here, and you have such great names who can mentor the students and young boys and girls in educational institutions and professional colleges and everywhere. We
yes,
have the
absolutely.
best of lawyers, the best of army officers, general chiefs, retired, then the bureaucrats and the businessmen and the professors because of educational hub, Chandigarh being an educational hub. All kinds of best possible mentors are available in Chandigarh and Panchkula and Mohali. Now, if some of them will volunteer, of course, they will like to come and offer. But if you prepare a data bank of such resource persons, and the colleges and institutions and universities get them associated suitably, mentoring is done in academics, it is
Right,
even the career counseling, it can be done, and in various kind of other activities mentoring can be done. So depending upon the availability of a good mentor, see, mentoring is not structured, whereas teaching
right.
is strictly structured.
It
This
is
lesson is to be
completely.
taught, and after the lesson is taught, the responsibility of the teacher, so to say, is over. The teacher says, okay, it is done. That is all I had to teach. I have taught it. Now let the child clear the exam. Now the mentors are they hold the hand of the student till the person is carrying on, gets a job also, and after that also for career advancement, whenever whatever job that person has had, even at that stage a mentor can come handy to that person. So it is a lifelong relationship, and the kind of rapport between the mentee and the mentor which can be developed, I think that can do a lot of good. And so the Indian students today need mentors more than the teachers. This is my
Yeah,
view.
absolutely. Because teaching is somewhere related to academics only, but the
Absolutely.
mentorship is related, it's much beyond that. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
related to the whole life process of the person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely, sir. That's very true. And, sir, coming back to your book, your 17th book, Put Your Best Foot Forward, talks about the finer graces and mannerisms in life. So please share the thought behind, coming up with this book, that how you thought that you should write this book, and where do we lack somewhere, and how can we improve ourselves as individuals as well as parents, because there are a lot of parents who are watching, our show as audience. So they also want to know that how can they improve themselves as parents in inculcating mannerisms in the children.
You see, what happens, Shweta, is that, it is human tendency that when you are not under observation, you behave in an erratic manner.
Right, right.
Social mindfulness is a term which means that your behavior and conduct when you are not being watched by anybody. People
Yes.
behave in a particular manner because of fear that they'll be caught, or
Got.
they'll be rewarded or punished or whatever. Because of that, they behave in a particular disciplined manner. Now, discipline and civility, if it becomes a way of life, for that you need compassion. You need to be compassionate about things. You need to be sensitive to the needs of others. You see, we live in a civilized society where we are dependent upon each other. You can't use
Yes.
even a road without some kind of rule, regulation, procedure, and systems. Now,
True, true,
in a
absolutely.
society, civility should become a way of life. Being
Right.
decent, good, nice to others must become it should be taught as a life skill. As a matter of fact, I feel that
Yes,
unless civility is taught as a life skill, and right from the beginning, right from fourth or fifth standard onwards, they should. You see the Japanese kids, you see them that they are available on the road to help anyone, and they go out of the way. They are so humble, and they've been taught in such a manner that as young boys and girls, they start learning this civility as a way of it becomes a part of their existence. The way
yes,
they,
absolutely, sir.
so they are so, whereas unfortunately, that in our, especially I suppose the northern region of the country where we are now sitting, the most powerful words in the world, I call them, please, thank you, excuse me, sorry,
Sorry.
things are not heard of. You see, on railway station, bus stands, or bookshops, or markets, and other places. Some elite may be using it in the educational institutions or the boardrooms of the companies or wherever that it may be there. But
True.
generally, at railway station or bus stand or somewhere, being decent and nice to other is unheard of in there. And I
Yes.
have realized it. I have lived for about 15, 16 years in down south. As I told you, I was at Skandrabad, and I realized that awakening and awareness of this kind of thing is much better down south as compared to the
It
north.
is.
Why is it
Yes.
so? Maybe, the British came to Madras and those places earlier and they started learning from them, or whatever may be the reason. But the fact is that we, the North Indians, generally lack this kind of discipline, that we are not careful about our conduct and behavior. You see, if you see the foreigners in this part, the people looking at, staring at them because of their clothing, because of their color. And as you know, North Indians are very, very particular about fair color. A dark skin is considered,
True.
no, people here don't even understand the difference between personality and the physical appearance of a person. Most people
Yes.
feel that appearance is the personality. Actually, personality is entirely a different thing. And I always give the example of, personality to a person is like fragrance to a flower. If
That's
you are
true.
given a beautiful, huge, big, beautiful flower, the first thing you do is you bring it to the nostrils and try to see whether there is
Try
fragrance
to
or not.
smell it.
If there is
Yeah.
no fragrance, the flower is useless. Similarly, if a person does not have the fragrance of his or her personality, the person is no good. This is my view. And to inculcate that, it is very important that the youth understand, and also understand that you see, the technology can outsmart the best of the brains today. So if you have to be one step ahead, that is why I called it best, put your best foot forward. If you have to be a step ahead of the others, technology may outsmart both of you equally, but if
Yes,
you are good at this, if you are decent, if you are good, polite, nice, and you know how to converse, how to talk to the people, how to listen to the people. Listening is, of course, more important than talking. But if you are able to learn that and use that in your practical life, you can move ahead in your professional, pursuit also. So I feel it is a very important subject which needs to be taught in all schools and colleges, professional institutes, and we should start right from the third, fourth standard, so that the youth, they start understanding what is the importance. So it is a life skill. You see, in life skill, what you do is you train the software of the brain. Now,
right.
if this becomes a life skill, then you will be able to train the software of the brain of the youth, that decency becomes a very important part of their total personality. That is what I am looking at, and that is why I came out with this book.
Right, absolutely, sir. And talking about the value education that we normally implement there in the school curriculum, also, it's just limited to that one period only,
Yeah.
where the stories are being read, and the children are just reading the stories, and that's it. The nothing else is done beyond that. So something
Let
beyond
them,
that should
sorry,
also
let them practice it. You see,
practice.
the other day I read an article in the Reader Digest. Why are the Japanese students different? And they had shown there in a photograph that the Japanese students they were cleaning their room, they
Cleaning their
were cleaning their
classrooms,
washroom and things
schools.
like that.
Yeah,
Now I
absolutely.
don't see what is wrong with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, parents of the students in so-called such school, elite schools, they feel that their child should not be doing it. After all, when you grow up, you are in a hostel or otherwise, you can't be depending upon people who serve you and come and help you and all.
Yes.
The helpers and people serving you is going to be a thing of the past in next, say, 10 years, even in India. Other
Right.
countries, it is already, I mean, this is not done. There are no helpers. You are your
Yeah.
own helper and your own best friend. You can do whatever you want to do on your own. Now, in any case, getting things done from others is extremely difficult. The best thing is to do it yourself.
Do
So
it
I feel
yourself.
letting the child clean the room or clean the washroom, or let them learn it. I don't find that there is nothing there is anything wrong in it, but
Yeah.
our mindset has to change. The
Yes.
So we are a little we don't think that it's the right thing to do, and it must be done only by somebody who's not so fortunate, and that person only must do it, and I can't do it. So that is not, I think, the correct attitude.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. And when we are teaching all these skills, when we are teaching life skills to children, then they are ready to face any kind of situation also in life. And there
Absolutely.
are phases in our life where we get disheartened at times. So, sir, what is your mantra, according to you, that everybody should remember so as to bounce back?
You see, in my case, or in the case of Punjabis who came from Pakistan after partition, after the partition of 1947, this came as a gift to us, as a matter of fact. Let me tell you that perhaps it was one of the worst tragedy that has taken place in this
Yes. Right.
scene. But fact is that you would have seen that most of the Punjabis who came from Pakistan, after a few years, the way, the resilience, their capacity to bounce back, and the way they have done wonders, the entrepreneurs, I suppose, spirit in the Punjabi is such that I am reminded of. It is a joke, but they say that when Armstrong went to moon and he put his first foot there, he thought he was the first man on moon. But then he suddenly looked around and there was a dhaba Sadaji sitting there, and he said, "Pehla paasho idhar aao, cha piyo, phir kam karo." It may be a joke, but the fact is that entrepreneurship spirit of the Punjabi is legendary. Of course, there are other things with Punjabis, they amplify their joy by drinking and joking, and you see, even cutting jokes on yourself. I do feel that only a confident person and person who thinks that I am better than everyone else, only that person can crack jokes on himself and or herself
Yes,
and
yes.
enjoy. And so I think to be able to become a resilient and take on the life squarely, it is very important to have courage. Courage is, you can actually expand or shrink your life proportion to the courage you have. If you have the courage, if you can risk nothing, you risk everything. If you don't risk
True.
anything, you actually risk everything in life.
Yes.
So you must have the courage, and if you try and fail, you will be disappointed. But if you don't try at all, you are doomed. So
Yes.
trying, experimenting, exploring, and doing things, this should slowly and steadily become a part of every young man. See, it is only the youth who can take risks, who can take, this kind of,
Right,
and
right.
with the age, of course, people like me, my gut index is, of course, very low at this stage because of age. But other youth, their gut index should be high, and they should be able to take risk, and they should have the courage to take on new things. This is courage now. For example, artificial intelligence. Everyone is talking about. We know that we are the way we live is going to be changed terribly or admirably or whatever way it is going to be changed once we have AI in 5-10 years coming in. And now is the time for them to prepare. People should, and those who are starting startups and yeah, they are coming out with this, that is one thing they must do. And I believe that if you have the courage and of course your confidence and your compassion, and if you have these kind of things and enthusiasm, I am very strong, advocate of that. You must not let your enthusiasm ever die. If your enthusiasm dies, there will be wrinkles on your soul. And if there are
Yeah.
wrinkles on your soul, you are no good a human being. So let your enthusiasm never die. And that fizz, when you open the Coke bottle, those fizz that comes out.
It
Now
just
let
comes up.
that kind of always be there. There will be, see, we all must understand that we all have very feeble, fragile minds. But we must also understand that every good thought that you get adds to the ultimate, outcome of your life. So,
True.
getting good thoughts, noble thoughts, thinking good of humanity, thinking good of others, and of course, love yourself no matter what. There is no doubt about it. If you don't love yourself, nobody else will love you. So, whatever is your type of your nose you have, and whatever height you have, and whatever type of face you have no option but to love yourself if you really want to do well in life. So, my suggestion and my advice to the young people who are watching the show, that have you know such confidence in yourself that you should be able to tell yourself, I am better than I think I am, always and every time. Fearless kind of, I don't mean misplaced confidence. Misplaced
Yes,
confidence is
yes.
bad, that can land you in trouble. But I'm talking of fearless confidence, which gives you your passion, and you will be able to. And that famous saying of Shah Rukh Khan, and if you really want to do something, Shiddat se zor lagao, the entire kainat or the universe also starts supporting you. And I call that a
Absolutely,
great
sir.
way forward.
I think we all have got a good dose of motivation from you today, sir. And
Actually,
you
sorry, Shweta. There are two books which that as recently I had released. The other one is of course this book, Put Your Best Foot Forward, and the other is this book, Mood
mood
Metaphor, a
metaphors.
book of poems. And I am extremely grateful to Mr. Afan of Rivers, or rivers. You call it rivers or rivers?
Rivers. Rivers.
River. Okay, and he's done an excellent job. And everyone who has read the book or who has gone taken the book, they have told me that a publisher has done a great job. I am extremely grateful to अफान साहब कि उन्होंने बहुत बढ़िया काम किया. और थैंक यू सो मच मिस्टर अफान फॉर डूइंग सच ए वंडरफुल जॉब टू द.
That's great, sir. And thank you to you also, sir, for writing such inspirational books for us. And I really feel that literature can really change the mindsets and bring changes. I hope you also feel the same about the literature.
As a matter of fact, when 3, 4 years back, my dear friend Mr. Vivek Katre made me a part of the CLS. I at that time initially I didn't know that what good it will do to me or to what is happening, and I have realized that when you go for a book launch, and you must have realized, Shilpa, you yourself, Shweta, sorry, that only good people go there, good in inverted commas. People may go for other parties and get-togethers and vibrant networking forum there. People to have a drink and chit chat and networking, they may go there. But these kind of book launches, where the books are being talked about and books are being read there, and people there, only the good people go. And I also feel that if somebody, I'm a great fan of Shakespeare and Wordsworth and Milton and Keats, whatever little I could read, if you read them, you realize that after reading and understanding whatever these great people have written, how can a person be insensitive? I mean, there is so much of sensibility, it challenges your sensibilities,
True.
literature. And then you feel more connected with the human beings. I feel you become a better human being if you are a good reader and good writer. And
Right.
one must read as much as one can. And I strongly advocate all of us have the basic writing ability. All of us have that writing ability.
Yes,
And there
yes.
are so many things happening in our lives that there is so much to write about. So my advice to the people who are watching it, that everyone, whether it is a student or a housewife or a professional in any capacity, any age group, you must take the pen and start writing. It will give you so much, and it is a great stress buster. You see,
Yes, that's
reading
true.
and
Absolutely.
writing is also a great stress buster. To that extent, you make the society better because you are reading, writing, and sharing good thoughts, good vibes. As a matter of
Yes.
fact, Mr. Vivek Katre has a show, Good Vibes Show.
Good
The other
vibes
day,
show.
Good Vibes Show, I was on that show and we were discussing this kind of thing only, that literature can bring about a lot of changes, positive changes, but this
Yeah.
is also fact that it is a very slow, cumbersome, tedious process, and changing attitude of people is not an easy thing. It doesn't
Absolutely.
change overnight. It takes years and years and years. And though I should not be quoting from China nowadays, but there is a beautiful Chinese proverb where they say that if you have to plan for a year, then plant rice. If you have to plan for 10 years, then plant a tree. And if you have to plan for 100 years, plant a man. The idea is that it takes hundred of years to really change the mindset of the people.
Mindset.
So if you have to develop the nation building spirit, taking pride in your nation, I am an Indian, that kind of feeling, and taking pride in yourself, it takes a lot of time. But a
Yes.
beginning has to be made somehow, somewhere. So
It
that
has
I
to be
tell the
started.
children, young boys and girls, that in the right stage that they should start reading, writing, and becoming better human being, better citizens of this great nation. And that is what I feel.
That's great, sir. That's a wonderful message that you have, shared with our audience. And there's one question which is coming to my mind is that you have written 17 books. And I know there are many of us who are still, struggling to write the first one. But is there any book which you have also struggled to write, or which really took a lot of time or a lot of your emotion, which has gone into writing that book?
You see, my method, Shweta, basically has been whenever an idea comes to me, I pick up a diary, big diary, which is going to be converted into a book at a later stage. I start putting the date and whatever comes to my mind about that idea, I keep writing it
Okay.
down in that. So simultaneously, perhaps I'm working on two, three books. I'm not
Okay.
working
Right.
only on one book, but simultaneously. And it may be, for example, this book, I had planned maybe 7, 8 years earlier. I was thinking about this book, put your best foot forward. And I had that notebook in which I was writing down whatever came my way, some quotes, some interesting observations. You see, you have to
Right.
be a very good observation. You should understand the thing, observe, and then analyze them
Yes, absolutely.
like a normal average person, whatever God has gifted me with a bit of analytical ability. You analyze the things, you see how the things happen, and after observing them, keep noting down. The maximum time that I took to write was that book Operation Research. It took me 3 to 4 years because it
Okay.
had a lot of mathematical formula and which problems had to be solved and original problems had to be written. And then it took me 3 to 4 years and solid. I was focused only on that particular book. But other books I simultaneously keep working on. And I think I shared the other day in my book launch, you were there, and I had said that uh, if you publish 550 or 600, about 550 articles I publish in newspapers here and there, the strike rate or the hit rate is one against three or four. So that means I have 1,500 odd articles which have not been published, which have been rejected
Hmm.
because
Okay.
the editors have their own discretion, as they call
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So I know this also, that many editors indiscreetly use that discretion, and I have lot of lying the rejected articles. What I am doing now is, because some of the rejected I thought that were my best creation, some of it
Right.
that got rejected, and something which I thought that would never get published, that
They
got
were.
published. Again, editorial discussion, whatever. Now, what I am doing is, out of those 1,000 odd articles, I am picking up 80 best, and when I turn 80, and I won't be able to tell you when I'll turn 80, but whenever I turn 80, I'm going to, and I'm calling that book The Waste Paper Basket. The waste
Right.
paper basket will be out 80 best articles out of those rejected ones. So the
Rejected
best of
ones.
80 rejected, I'll publish in the form of another book. I'm already working on that. So that will be another edition. So that is, see, I feel that the best thing to write is to start writing.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
perhaps the best time to do that is early in the morning. I have realized it that that is the best time when your brain is working, you are, healthy, take a little bit of walk and whatever, uh, do that. And after that, sit calmly and coolly. You are not being disturbed by anybody. You don't need to disturb anyone at that time. And spending an hour or two at that time, perhaps you are very creative. Your creative faculties are at their best at that point of time. There is a book, by this chap, what is his name? Robin, uh, Robin Sharma. The
Robin
book
Sharma.
that 5 a.m. club. So I become a member of that 5 a.m. club. I get up at 5 and work at that time. So my advice to you is that start writing, and you will, and
Right.
the kind of happiness and satisfaction you will get, they need not be published in newspapers or magazines. That's not necessary. What is necessary is that you will find happiness after reading it after 10 years, after 15 years. Now, what I wrote long time back, when I go through that, I feel very happy and proud of myself. Oh my goodness, I wrote it this 20 years back. So that is how I feel one must start writing as soon as
Right.
possible.
Absolutely, sir. And you've given a very valuable tip also to us that even if the articles or your writings are not being appreciated by others or not accepted by others, we should still continue writing. That is very
Absolutely.
important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great, sir. And I'm sure our audience really had a very knowledgeable, very experienced session today, talking to you, talking about your experiences and sharing your knowledge with all of us. So, thank you so much, sir. It was really lovely talking to you and getting a full dose of motivation and inspiration from you.
At the end, Shweta, let me tell you, which I am fond of sharing with that men above 75, and so the women also above 75, are fit to talk and write. So I am trying to do both talking and writing. And that is the only thing I know. And I suppose I'll continue doing it till the last day of my life. And I believe that you must carry on as long as you can. It will
Yes,
keep you away from dementia, Alzheimer's, and things like that. Because old age, we all know that you are going to be, the body is decaying. It has to decay. It's the law of nature. It has to happen. But if you really want to keep yourself in high spirits, if you want to remain positive and retain your enthusiasm, then only way is keep doing something that you love. So
yes, never
ultimately,
stop.
your success is when you find what you love. So I somehow found what I loved was this: reading, writing, speaking, sharing, and things like that. And I hope to continue as long as I can. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you, sir.
Shweta, for having me. And once again, Adab, Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, and good evening to all the viewers. And thank you so much, Shweta, for having me. I'm
Thank you,
grateful.
sir. It's completely our pleasure. And my big thanks to all the audience who have joined us today and given us their time. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe and keep smiling. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you.